in.
What's up, everybody? It's me again, and it's time to lean in, bitch. We're here for Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, episode 2. The episode just went off, so if you're watching and you have not watched the episode, you can either leave or get ready to be spoiled. Whatever you decide to do, I'm here with Sammy and Daddy. How y'all doing today? Sammy, welcome back.
I'm back. 2 weeks in a row.
I'm glad you're feeling well. Danny, welcome back for real, for real.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be among the number.
Yes. People been asking for you, Danny. So I'm glad you're back. Now I don't know who people are, but I do see your name commonly in the chat. So good episode tonight. But before we get started, don't forget, if you're watching right now, to hit that like button to like this video, leave a comment in the comments, and also subscribe if you haven't already. We got a lot of things going on coming up soon. A lot of shows. So you want to be in the know. You want to know what's going on. As in, like, when videos, like I just did a RuPaul's Drag Race video like 10-30 minutes ago. So if you ain't subscribed, you wouldn't even know, but it's up there. So let's get into this episode. I forgot the actual title of it, but a lot happened. A good episode. What are y'all thoughts on the actual episode, Danny?
Go ahead, Sammy.
It was a cool episode. It wasn't that much in it. The highlight probably was Gia and Joe. But overall, it was consistent with what last week.
Okay.
Gia and Joe wasn't my highlight. My highlight was Jennifer crying. I loved every second of it.
You weren't here last week, Danny. It was Child, TKC, and Chase was Team Jen, and they was going in, honey. And I was just like, I didn't realize that was a team. But hey,
it's one out there for everybody.
It is.
Might be the only two.
I mean, I'm sure Jenny Wynn got supporters too. So I mean, I ain't tripping. And like, but
let's be clear, I'm not Team Margaret either, though. I don't like Margaret.
No, we know that. I heard that too. So I'm glad that you're here, because TKC was also upset. I can mention him like he just bad. He mentioned that, something like, where's all the team Teresa? And I'm like, well, child, Danny will be here, Antonio will be here. Trust me, they are very much so pro Teresa. Not what's her name, Marge. So we're gonna get into it, but I want to ask y'all a question first.
Marge.
Hey, Barbara. Barbara said, Danny and Sammy, I thought y'all say no more lean. Y'all was trying to cause some trouble. I'm pretty sure if they decided to leave the lean, Barbara, they would come and let me know first. I know Danny will for sure. Her. Barbara said Teresa is lit. She all right, child. So I have a question for y'all. Do you think last week's episode, before we get into this week's episode, of course, Marge made the comment, since last week we saw that an article from Jen where she basically reveals that more about the cheating or whatever, how we found out that her daughter or child found out about it online too, right? So all that happened. So do y'all think that Marge's comment was bad? I want to ask you, Danny, because you weren't here last week, but Sam, you can answer too.
I do not, based on everything that Jennifer has always attacked her on. I do not. I mean, Jennifer can take, Jennifer loves attacking everybody, but she just obviously, as we've seen in this episode, she can't take it. Everybody else has kids that she talks about.
Okay.
Yeah,
I almost felt bad for her a little bit this episode until it got further in. And like Danny said, I mean, if she knew that her husband had an affair with however long ago it was, she should have stayed all the way away from that topic.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have said nothing. She could have picked on Marge for so many other things, but I would have left that alone.
Yes, exactly. And
you can get Marge for so many other things. Like,
right. Even as a Marge fan, yes, you can get her for so many other things. And it's just like, honey, you are living in a glass house. I just can't believe it's really people out there. There are a lot of Jens out there that sit there and do all this stuff, and then in their life, this is what's going on. Like, Jen is a perfect example of watch your mouth. Watch your mouth, because when there are people out there like on this show also that are waiting for something to happen to you, and when they find out that you went through the same thing, honey, it's over. Nobody's gonna feel sorry for you.
But I always feel like life gets you when you talk about somebody bad for something that has happened to you, but you act like it's never happened to you. Life will get you; it'll come out.
Oh yeah, that too. That's that's why I never try to wave my relationship in anybody's face, because it can be over as soon as you just never know. I'm just saying. So I'm very careful with stuff like that. And so I think people should learn from Jen if you're watching this show.
And she needs to be more mad at, her husband than anything. He's the one that did it, that is the reason for it to be talked about. It's his fault.
And that's very true. I mean, it's crazy that this show, it's really him that messed up, but the fact is this happened to her and she's using that as a read, it just kind of makes her look crazy. And I feel like she needs to be getting on him more. I know, but it was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago.
So that's my thing. Was it? I mean, are we sure? Is the timeline very accurate?
She's crying like it's more recent.
She's crying like it happened yesterday. Like it'd be right before they filmed. I'm just like, ooh.
And also, let's be clear, she done talked about Marge Mama. Like the gloves are off.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna come back to Jen. Let's talk about Gia and Joe. So, of course, after Marge makes the comment, Jen leaves. Her and her husband, they leave. Basically everyone's kind of like, oh no, Marge, why would you say that? Blah blah. So then Joe is talking to Louis, and was it Louis? That was Louis and Gia about the comment itself. And Gia, who's now 21, sitting over there, and she's just like, people shouldn't say things. This is why people shouldn't say things. And Joe's just going and going and going, and she's just like, just like you talk about my dad. And so these two kind of get a little back and forth. And I watched the clip last week, and I've seen since the clip aired, people were saying like she shouldn't be, talking to him like that, or some was saying like that's her father, she has a right to. So, a question to y'all: do y'all think she was out of line, and do you think Teresa should have stepped in?
I've been Gia in this situation, and I reacted the same way as her when somebody was talking about my father about something. So no, I don't think she was out of line, because I mean, just because someone's older than you, they don't have a right to talk to you any kind of way. At some point, they got to realize, you gotta give respect too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and then the fact is, he even talking about her. Look at her clothes and what she wearing. And she walked up on him. What was said?
Right.
So I mean, he takes a lot of digs too. So no, she read that ass. She should have read him some more.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with Gia. And if you think about it, I know ever since that clip preview last week, social media has been showing like older seasons where Gia's kind of had to be in the middle of breaking them up or hearing them talk about her parents. Like they showed the scene back at the christening when she was trying to pull her mama away from even getting the stuff started. So she's been watching this go on for years, and now she's at a point. Her dad's not there anymore, and that's usually who would have Teresa's back. He's gone now, so I guess Gia's just like, no, we done playing with my mama. And I'm sure Teresa tells her stuff around the house too. So yeah, at this point she was over it.
Yeah.
And I think also, like she said in her mind, it's 5 years ago. The man's not even in the country. Why are you still bashing him? Like it's over and done with. You don't see him. Like what's up? Like
what? I never thought about that either. Their dad is where is he at, in Italy or something?
Yeah, Italy.
So yeah, they don't even so it's more problematic.
And she sees it affecting her younger sister. But she's also thinking.
Well, that was a very valid point that when she said her younger sister, I was like, you know what? It's more than just her, and I believe that. You know what I'm saying? That's still her father, regardless. At the end of the day, it does not matter. That's still her father. That is her maker. So
and Teresa low key be loving that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She was just sitting there like
she loves that. She loves it.
Well,
I think Teresa loves her, but she don't like him, or Melissa. She loves him, but she don't like him.
Well, I think for her, she knows that Gia can say what she wants to say, and Joe will probably be more lenient with her versus him going at it with Teresa, and then it turn into a big old blowout. She know he gonna be soft with Gia, but Gia still gonna stick it to his ass the way that she really can't.
I mean, and he didn't stop. So of course Melissa got involved, right? And I'm glad Gia was like, "Don't get me activated, girl." I was like, "Ooh, Melissa, girl, get back when you get beat up." And Joe was still going. He was just basically saying how he felt like the father was a monster. And so after a while, they get her to go talk to him. And when she goes over to talk to him, he's still upset. She's not really getting the word in. And basically, he still stands behind what he's saying in terms of, that, how he feels. And it doesn't matter. Basically, he said he's been dealing with this for 10 years. He feels much more of her father than he is. Just kind of making it worse. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was Teresa. No, it was Dolores who said that somebody has to eat shit and it needs to be Joe. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day,
I thought she said it ain't. I thought she said it ain't going to be Joe.
I thought she said it needs to be Joe. Maybe I misheard that wrong. I'm not sure.
I thought she meant like Joe is. It needs to happen, but he won't do it.
He won't do it. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that part. I thought she was saying like he needs to be the bigger person in the situation and let her have it. That's what I got from, but maybe not.
That's what she was saying, but she was saying
that's what she was saying, but he won't do it. Like he won't return to do it.
Okay. So then, right. So yeah, I mean, I agree. When Gia came back out and she was very logical in her saying, you know, how it's affected. It's been 5 years. It's affecting her younger sisters. You know what I'm saying? We can agree, disagree. I respected it. I didn't see an issue with it. I don't think that she's getting in grown folks' business. I don't think that puts her.
It's her business,
right? I don't think it puts her in a place how we see these other kids kind of get involved with the storylines. I don't think it makes her any more of anything negative. I think what she did was right. She stood up for her dad respectfully. And Joe just has to just kind of get over it and stop it at this point.
And the thing is, Teresa has moved on. It happened to her.
It happened to her and new girl. So I mean, anybody has the right to say something.
You can't be more mad than me about something that happened to me. If I'm willing to move on, you don't ever have to deal with Joe again.
Yeah.
But stop talking about it. It's not about you.
Darlene said she's out of line. Dang, Darlene, you think she was out of line? I don't think so. I mean, you got to look at. I look at, you know, parents now. I mean, sometimes parents just don't want to accept that we are grown. You know, there are people in my family trying to talk to me crazy at 32, and I'd be like, no, that's not going to work. Respect is respect, but at the same time, it has to be both ways, especially when you're an adult. And I know she's just 21. I think Joe has done a lot for her. He stood up for her, and so it probably hurts him to see someone challenge her. But to be like, who raised you? You know who raised her. You did, clearly, and Teresa and all that. So that it just kind of got to me. I felt like she wasn't out of line, and she kind of came back correct. If she had continued to kind of be a little bit more aggressive, then I think it would have. But she was actually pretty. She was more of the adult than Joe, in my opinion.
She definitely was.
She was more of the adult. So TKC says, I'm so sick of Melissa and Joe using the guidances for.
I agree, TKC. I agree.
Yeah,
Gia would agree too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gia's sticking it too. And then she said, you know, I haven't seen you in 6 months. So I mean, how dare you try to put it on me like you supposed to be close to me? Why I ain't talked to you in 6 months?
Yeah, she got him with that.
He didn't even answer that part. He never acknowledged that.
When he said to her, I love you so much. Oh yeah, but I ain't seen you in 6 months. You missed me with that, Joe.
And she had a confessional. I said, come on, confessional. So
she's gonna be holding a trash can or sub, whatever they hold.
Not a trash can. I'm dead. Okay, so that was pretty much all. Darlene said, "What is 6 months?" She's the niece.
What that mean, though?
Goodness, Darlene. That's not nothing wrong feeling that way. I just feel like, you know, it's just a little different, child. Sometimes adults gotta eat the shit.
I'm sorry, I was saying this. Being older does not give you the license to talk to me however you want to.
It don't matter what you did for me as a kid. It does not matter. You are still, you know what I'm saying? We are at this point, I am an adult, and if you can't be respectful, why should I be?
And I think in that moment, what she was saying, what made it so valid was he was saying, I've loved you since the minute you were born, and I got so much, you know, love for you. And she's like, well, where you been in 6 months? You've been bashing my dad, but you ain't called and came by and seen nobody. You ain't checked on us to see how we were. You just over there in your feelings. So don't come over here telling me how you my uncle and you love me so much, but you sitting here doing this for the first time he's seeing you on camera in 6 months. That's what she told him. She said, I don't even know what you're doing. You're always trying to cause a scene. Just go on and walk away. And he walked away.
Yeah. She said she wanted to grab his head and do this.
and then not just that. It's true what was said too. Joe's gone. You know, her father's gone. Who else was her father figure after that?
Him.
You know, so she's looking at him like, you just left me for 6 months and you've been talking about my dad the whole time. Like, she felt double betrayal.
Hey, Nushka. Okay, so then we get a scene with Teresa, Dolores, and Jen. And this is where they kind of give more clarity where we talk about the room, you know, the cheating. Apparently it is true, but it was 10 years ago. She says that it was close to when she was pregnant with which child was this? Which child was
Christian, the 10-year-old or something?
Mm-hmm. Okay, obviously that makes sense. 10 years ago, 10. So that's true. And so she talks on it, and they kind of just listen or whatever about it, whatever. But what kills me is that Teresa. This is where Teresa starts to put in her head that what she did last year was different or whatever versus what Marge is doing. Do y'all think it's different? Do you think it's the same?
So last week when Antonio said it, I was like, oh, he has a point. But I take that back. I'm with Marge on this one because Teresa walked in the party and deliberately start going around. Marge was fine until her and Jennifer started getting into it, and she was right at Jennifer's face with it directly. So yeah, it was different to me. I think had Marge and Jennifer not got Teresa. Into it, yeah, Marge would have said nothing.
We listening, Danny? Why?
No, I said I'm team Teresa, but I definitely agree it is not the same. Not like the same. You know that video of that old lady where she goes, "Oh," that's what came to mind when Teresa brought it up. That's what came to mind when Teresa brought it up. Like, oh wait, you came after me. Like, it's not the same, girl. It's not.
But y'all knew she was gonna do it though. Y'all knew she was.
When she sat there and paused after that answer, I said, here she come with the bullshit. And then she said, I was just spreading a rumor. What Margaret said was a fact. That's like, girl, that's kind of worse. You out there just
Antonio said, now see how I get in there.
I ain't even say nothing.
Antonio said me using you.
I'm coming for that check, Antonio.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, Antonio still don't know how much I get paid. So.
Demecia, I hate Demecia, I hate Melissa, but I love Joe.
I think that's everybody.
TKC. Yeah, I like Joe too. Joe could Joe. So then after that, there is two-way conversation. I guess they set it up in this way for a reason. You got Jackie and Jennifer who are talking. You got Dolores. Oh, sorry, you got Jackie and Jennifer. And then Dolores and Marge. Mm-hmm. So Jackie is kind enough to be with Jennifer. They just made up just last episode or whatever.
Yeah, I was shocked to see that.
I was very shocked that Jackie did that, but hey, sure, it's TV, right? So then in their conversation, you know what I'm saying, she's meeting with her, and Jackie's like, well, Jen is venting. And one thing that Jackie said that I actually like, she was like, I don't have an issue with what Marge said. You know what I'm saying? Because you've done things. So it wasn't just I don't think it went the way Jen thought it was going to go. I really think Jen thought that when she came over, she was just going to be like, maybe not bash her, but kind of get her closer to her side. But Jackie let her know in that moment, like, this is still my friend. You have been shit to her. So, hey, and so this is the first time we hear this, right? So then on the other conversation, Marge and Dolores are talking, and Dolores is trying to hold Marge accountable, let her know it's wrong, what she did. And Marge is like, wait, honey. Let me tell you what else she did. Jen went around and digging up dirt on Jackie and this, and also on Frank. And Black Dolores is pissed. Black Dolores is like, what? So basically, what are y'all thoughts on these two scenes? Because you got one scene where the scene was set up like this. I don't know if it was recorded the same day or not. But basically, where Jackie is kind of warning her to Jen, while Marge is telling Dolores more of what Jen has done to her.
While Jen is clicking down in Dolores' eyes.
Right. It was a lot. So what y'all thoughts on those
clicking down? I actually enjoyed Dolores and Marge's conversation more than the other one. The other one was just kind of boring to me. Jennifer and Jackie. But Dolores and Marge, yeah. I love how Dolores said, yeah. Now I don't think you were wrong.
Yeah, she did.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I like how production set it up though, like happening at the same time.
I love when they do that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is when I stopped feeling bad for Jennifer, because I felt bad when she left the party. You could tell she was embarrassed, she was hurt. But then as we sitting there watching her talk to Jackie, who they barely just made up, but we know the history that they have had. And then you have Marge over here telling Dolores, well, she also did this, that, and the third to Jackie. So it's just like, what are we over here sad about, Jennifer? You kind of doing this to yourself. And at that point, that's when I started feeling like Marge went wrong. I mean, Marge told her directly stuff that she knew, stuff that was fact. But Jennifer went around picking at everybody. Now that it's her turn, she want to cry and run off. And I can't get with that. She got to stand in like she did everything else.
Yeah.
And the thing, this is where you start to see what Jen, like, I guess in her mind, she feels like the reason why she did what she did to everybody else is because it was already out there and nobody knew about her tea. So it wasn't fair for Marge to put it out there. And to me, that's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, because she said,
but if nobody knew about the tea, how did Marge know about it?
Right.
So it was out there.
And the tea is, last week she did say office manager. She said pharmaceutical rep. I read that it was actually both.
Which is why I'm asking.
I read that
10 years ago, because it's giving me that.
It's given that it
happened 10 years ago, but now
something else.
Another one.
I'm thinking that the pharmaceutical rep was 10 years ago.
The
and
office
then the office manager was recent, allegedly.
Don't tell me what was.
Because you have to remember, when they were out with the other season, Marge had brought it up then, and they had just began to meet each other. So how is that? Is that a old rumor that's just circling around Jersey now?
That's just weird. This 10 years ago thing, it makes the situation look really weird. Like I just like, huh? 10 years ago?
It does seem weird because then the other girls making comments, oh, it could tear up your family. But how? If y'all forgave each other 10 years ago and moved on, like you forgave him and moved on, so how is it gonna tear apart? Like
something ain't adding up now. It's weird.
Jen moving around like she's hurt, recently hurt, like it opened up something. But then it also could be because she said it happened 10 years ago. She asked me about it, they never spoke about it again. So maybe it could be old feelings, but for me it looks very fresh. At least some 2019 when Marge first brought it up. That's what it feels like for me.
Right. Hey Morgan. TKC says trap mouth and always in somebody's business. Then he needs to pull her hair from a scalp. Oh, leave her out of this, okay? Danielle is over there doing documentaries for Erica Jane. Don't forget.
Yeah, Danielle gave my girl whiplash. Danielle needs to not pull Marge hair no more.
Okay, pull it.
But Marge recovered well.
Huh?
Marge recovered from that hair toss well.
Flip that ponytail right on back.
Marge definitely. I could have sworn she was gonna fall, but she didn't fall. Child.
I thought Marge needed to be in Cirque du Soleil because baby or the Matrix.
Okay, so then we get to the Dolores' housewarming, and I'm glad that Dolores mentioned that her house is quite small because it is quite small. Just from what we saw, not definitely, but basically they began to question Dolores about like her relationship life and stuff like that. And honestly, it's given like Dolores is like, girl, I really want this to be single. That's what I get from it. But y'all tell me what y'all think on the situation with them questioning Dolores, and getting in a relationship with Frank. And I don't know, child.
All I know is I am sick of Dolores and David. And it may work for them, so I probably don't have that much of a say. But girl, are they engaged or are they still just figuring it out 5 years in?
It's getting weird.
It's very weird. At this point, I would just go on and tell Frank, come home from Texas and let's just try it again.
Right, I'm just like,
David don't want
she talk more to Frank than she do to him.
Yeah.
So, baby, I am tired. Okay.
And it's not about the kids because the kids ain't minors no more.
Ooh. So okay, so she gives no straight answer. They ask the questions, they move on.
Because they sick of it too.
Right. They are sick of it, very sick of it. Antonio says, and I think she has a new boyfriend now. Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably
I'd be happy.
She probably got her a little black like young thing right around Jersey. Beating that box out. So then Marge mentions that she feels like Teresa may be mad or whatever. So they start talking about the situation with Teresa and Louis. Mm-hmm. Apparently she's Googled the boot camp, more details on it or whatever, as far as like what happens at the boot camp, like how it tears them down, builds them up, so it forces them basically to apologize and be a good man to their spouse. That's kind of what she says. And then, Jen arrives at this point and she comes in. It's like she's already like crying or emotional. It was just it was just
that moment when she was too traumatized to walk in there to get a glass of champagne. I said, baby, she's trying to get an Emmy. Cause girl, you're like too scared to go in the kitchen. Come on now.
Yeah, she was really like playing this role. And at this point, even if I wanted to feel sorry for her, I was annoyed because I'm like, you're not this damn hurt to where you, in this case, just don't come to the event.
It's hard to get the image out of Jennifer always attacking people. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then it's hard to get that out of my mind.
Yeah. I agree.
I was with Dolores. Don't come in here with that crying. You got this fabulous life. It's been so great. And now you walk in the door, and the first thing you do, you look around the corner.
Did she tell her that? She said basically like why you
crying?
Get up right now.
For me, it was Marge. What are you crying for?
What are you crying for?
It was Marge. It was definitely Marge. What are you crying for? What are you crying for? Because I mean, realistically, to come into the party like already emotional and to see that, I mean, it just gives joke. You can't if you that hurt, you wouldn't even come to the party.
I could see if you got hurt if Marge took you to the side and y'all started talking, and then you got hurt while y'all were talking.
Right.
Like
she was already hurt.
But girl, you came in wanting a pity party.
Yeah.
And it wasn't happening. Now with them
it
girls.
Was not, that baby, it was not happening. Nobody was here for, because every person that she wandered from, she has done something to. And so when Marge does do that, let me tell you how messy Marge is. Marge, while talking to her, brings up the fact that Jen was still digging more dirt on Jackie, which gets Jackie riled up. Jackie is just like, listen, how are you digging up dirt while you had experienced this, whether at this point it was like 7 years before, because this was like 3-4 years ago, right? Well, this is when she started, she came on the season, 2000, what was it, 2000?
I think it's like their 4th year. So 18, 19?
What, who, Jen?
Yeah. Didn't her and Jackie come together the same?
I don't remember. I can't remember when
I think so.
What season was it that she came? 8 or 9?
I want to say 9.
Okay, because 9 was the season when the ponytail pulled. So I want to say maybe 8.
That was 9.
Yeah, I think that was 9. I think no. I'm sorry. Cabo was 9. The ponytail pull was 10.
10, yeah.
Right. 10. That's right. Sorry. So it's interesting. Basically, they was telling her like, girl, and she trying to defend her case, basically saying like, she did it for this. She just basically kept saying like, I just wanted to know. Everybody was talking about it. I'm like, Jen, just say, girl, own it and be like, you know what? I fucked up. I've been messy. Like, she can't even own up to it in this moment because and notice her tears went away. At this point,
she back to rowdy Jennifer.
I thought she was reverting back to Jen.
But see, the thing is, Marge, said what she said about, Jen trying to dig up dirt on Jackie. She was saying it, to get Jen more stuff, but she was also Jackie, while you were there trying to comfort that bitch.
Yeah,
she's letting her know.
Mars didn't like that baby. Mars did not like that she hung out with her. She was like,
I probably would have felt the same way as Mars too.
TK says a bunch of mean girls jumping on my Booski Jen. Do you think it was mean, or was it just somebody just kind of? I mean, it's unfortunate that a lot of people were saying the same thing, but there has to be truth when everybody in the room is saying the same thing, minus one person, which is Teresa, and Teresa really just don't care. Honestly, she more so thinking about her own situation. You know what I'm saying?
There has to be truth, because let's be clear, Jen is not that girl that you want to go at her to have a moment with. Like,
right?
Jen is not gonna make you.
Yeah, it's very true.
She's no Teresa.
I just think when Marge came to her and sat down and tried to ration with her, that was the time for Jen to just clean the slate. And instead, she backpedaled and still tossed out more stuff, which made the Jackie comment come up, which twirled into something else. It's like you want to feel bad for Jen, but it's like, girl, goddamn, help yourself out. Help yourself out. And she didn't do that.
Yeah. And so she was just like, what you did was mean. It was my children. And I'm like, Jen, girl, somebody give her a little Golden Globe from Walmart.
I was waiting for the violin to start.
It was Dolores for me when she got doing all that yelling and the camera cut to Dolores and she looking like, bitch, what are we doing?
Dolores was like,
just over it.
No, I agree with you, TKC. Marge definitely ain't that girl either, but she's more than Jen is on the show.
Well, Marge is that girl that always gets Jen together. So let's be very clear, because she wears her out
each and every time.
Every time. So let's talk about that, TKC.
I'm watching everybody on Jen, and I'm just hearing Chase in my mind. Girl, they are getting you, sister. They are wearing you low.
Chase loves Jen. No, Chase loves Jen.
But
people are split. I see people say that they like Jen. I see people say that Jen is full of it. I've seen a couple of the comments. Darlene loves Marge, even though she was Team Joe against Gia. But it is what it is. Everybody gonna like what they like. There's nothing wrong with that. Take it. But you know where I stand. And even Tracy. Now, did y'all hear Tracy try to get her little moment? Tracy said that she was. Go ahead, Danny. Get it out.
With the way Tracy got Tiki Hut, she should never.
She shouldn't be in
It's a conversation she should stay out of.
Stay out of.
Just like
they gonna get her. They gonna get her. This same headlines have been up about her.
Yeah, it seems like
recently
the scheme of this, the theme of this damn season is cheap. And so I think everybody that's had an experience on this franchise needs to probably be quiet, whether it's been rumored or not. Morgan said, do y'all think Marge knew something when she said that about Jen's husband a couple seasons ago? Yeah, I mean, that you put that clip into perspective, child. It does look like maybe she knew something, but then again, you just never know. I mean, anybody can.
I don't like Marge, but I don't think she's much of a liar.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Keisha King. He says, I'm paying Gia dust because Joe is supposed to say what he did behind his sister. He better be lucky my brothers would did more.
But in the same token, she was supposed to do that about her father.
Mm-hmm. That situation can go a lot of different ways. Everybody has different upbringing, so I feel like that's where it differs. Personally, I just always been a look. You're gonna talk to me crazy type guy.
Yeah, and I guess my thing is, again, it's 5 years later. Like Joe should have did all that rah then.
And my thing is, what are we still bashing him for now? A man he'd been deported.
It's like somebody say you fight somebody, child, and they are on the ground bleeding, you still kicking them. I mean,
yeah, but again, if he don't do that, what is Joe's storyline? What is him as Melissa's storyline?
You're right.
If they're not into it with Teresa and Joe, what is their storyline?
Melissa ought to be tied around Teresa's coattails. I mean, she ought to be tied at this point.
Melissa main cast member, but she definitely is like a friend of the show to me.
Well, you remember on the Ultimate Girls Trip how they talked about remember the whole thing? We talked about how she got on the show still. So, child, that was filmed, and then this was filmed. I think this was filmed this summer, and Ultimate Girls Trip was in the spring. So, I'm just curious to see their dynamic. I mean, it's always been weird, but and Morgan. So this is what I said earlier. I know that's Jill's father, but Joe has done a lot. I guess I understand that, but that does not make. Like, I have an auntie. My auntie did a whole lot for me growing up, just in general. I mean, my mom did too, but that doesn't mean they get to say what they want to say. Like, you do things out of the kindness of your heart, and you do them, not to have something over someone's head to say, like, oh, I did this for you. Because at the end of the day, like, okay, you did. Were you doing it so you can have some over me?
And I guess Gia looks at it as my mother has forgiven him and moved on. And, at the end of the day, she also looks at it like, that's my dad. He's always treated me.
Exactly.
She said that.
So,
it's a lot. I understand Joe too, because like I said, Joe has been through a lot with him, but it's like at this point, at what point is he gonna let it go? Like, Gia is grown. She's obviously trying to do something for her sisters. Her mom is doing well. Joe,
he's never liked her father. Let's just be, he's never liked her.
Yeah, right.
And my thing is, he said he's been dealing with it for 20 years. Okay, the man's been deported. What more do you like? What else do you need to let off before you can just release it? Like, leave them girls, daddy.
I agree, Nushka.
Joe,
Real Housewife. Yeah.
No, and it's the truth. If you've been dealing with it for 20 years, it's almost like you can't function then without being in dysfunction with.
Yeah,
Teresa.
It's like you need that to feel. Yeah, it's
it's like you can't function without it, because if I'm dealing with that for 20 years and I'm sick of it, I'm happy that he's gone. I don't gotta deal with him no more.
Wouldn't even speak his damn name. Teresa didn't divorce him. She finna get remarried. Like, what do you get from still going to Joe?
And then not just that, you just sat there and said that joke about Louis. Oh, I've never missed. I'm missing Joe right about now. Like, but you hate him so much. Child. And what Louis did was his past that don't really got nothing to do with Teresa.
It's just giving big brother who don't want the sister to have a man
to be happy.
Need them to depend on him.
Right.
That's what the issue is. It's what it sounds like.
It is giving that. And then at this part, so Teresa, she comes late. Basically like trying to figure out what's the difference between what she asked the question to everybody. What's the difference between what she did last year versus this year? And Jackie was like, well, first of all, you went to somebody else first. And no one seems to understand. No one can seem to logic to what she's saying. Marge kind of explains a little more about the issue with Jen, and Jen is like, I can't, I'm gonna leave. I'm like, girl, you should have been left because you were way more emotional when you got there. Actually, you shouldn't have came. And so she leaves. But because everyone
she
is just
turned
like
around in the parking lot.
Everyone is just like, thinking like, girl, you've said like your life is perfect. Even last week, she kind of made the same comment to Marge when they were having it outside, at Teresa's party.
That's why Marge said
comment about like how she is good financially or something like that. I'm like, it's the same thing. So if you're so happy, like Dolores said, why are you crying? You should be boasting around like he cheated on me and what?
Because to be honest, last week when she told Margaret, no, bitch, it was the pharmaceutical rep. I said, now that's how you clear, bitch. You know, I thought in that moment Jen cleared Margaret. Like, Margaret thought she was spilling tea and she owned it and said, it was the pharmaceutical rep. In that moment, I thought she had served Margaret.
Yeah. Well, TV show wise, I feel like there's something that clicks in their head to where instead of nipping it, they have to, in order to carry it, they have to, go in, like dig in it. So it makes more of a storyline if she's like heard about it in her head. It doesn't make sense because it's 10 years ago. However, if she just became the girl that was owning it, Marge really could what would Marge have to go with? You know what I'm saying?
Jen just thinks she gonna get that seat next to Andy by acting all hurt and stuff, and that ain't gonna happen. She's still gonna be at the end of the sofa.
This is
not with Marge and Teresa.
Housewives crying.
Right.
We have seen Erica give, sorrow and despair. We gonna see probably Jen give it at the reunion, and I think Jen Shaw, and I think this Jen thinks we going.
And we've seen Wendy with the sign.
I am tired of all these housewives crying to sit next to Andy. It is getting in my opinion. So that's pretty much all for that episode.
I'm going to bookmark that, Cortez, for Potomac next season at the reunion. That you tired of the housewives crying at the reunion? I'm going to bookmark this.
I'll be tired of Candace crying too.
I'm going to play it back for you. There you go, Daddy. I'm going to play it back for you.
I'm tired of Candy. I'm tired of Candice. I'm tired of all of them. I'll be like, oh. I'm tired of Nene too crying on live. Because that be worrying me out too.
Let me shut up.
Okay, so next week is going to be interesting because we get to see Dolores and Jackie have a little issue, and I was talking to Sammy before the live is that I am very surprised that I thought the issue between Marge and Teresa would be like now, but we're getting other things, so that gives me hope for the season that we won't be on that for so long. It seems like there is leading up to it, obviously, but. I wonder what does Marge do to make it blow over? Because right now it's like surface level. Teresa's like, okay, she did it, blah. But right now the storyline is Jen. Jen is the storyline right now.
What irritated me in the preview for next week was, Jackie once again talking to Jennifer, being her friend, and that just, and starting that whole thing with Dolores, and it just irritated me. Like, why are you still talking to Jackie? I mean, to Jen, like, yeah, why are you still talking to her?
Jackie's still talking to Jen?
Yeah, like, why?
Jackie has a good heart.
She says she has compassion for her. That's what she said in this episode. I mean,
send her a text. I'm praying for you and keep it going. You're right, TKC. I'm tired of her too.
I feel like it's gonna cause an issue between
that.
Jen
ain't got nothing to do with me over there.
Do y'all think Marge is gonna get upset that she hang with her, talking to her?
Marge gonna get upset about something. I don't know if it's gonna be that, but it's gonna be something to do. It's gonna be something to deal with Jen and
Teresa. Yeah, Marge is gonna have her hands full with Teresa. She's not gonna be able to focus on Jackie too much about that.
That's true. That's very true. I'm seeing this link.
Hey, Chastity.
Hey, Chastity.
So I didn't put my glasses on. I'm trying to read them comments, but baby,
I see you squinting. That's why
I give up.
You better lean in. Look at the comments. I just sent the link in the chat for anyone that wants to call in. We'll take a few calls. So like, it's pretty much done with everything we got to talk about. So I want to hear what y'all got to say. But overall, good episode. Good things going well. It's a relief from Salt Lake City, which is what is draining me. Women, as Mary said, and Real Housewives of Miami, honestly, like it's cool, but it's getting a little boring.
But you know what? The comment you had made, like about how Salt Lake City is going too long, and you have said the same thing about how Beverly Hills. They're starting to do that to every season now. They're really dragging them out.
Yeah, really. Back then it used to be.
Potomac, got dragged out too.
It's not.
Well, I was gonna say, like them seasons of Atlanta was like 22, 23 episodes long. And like you said, it was worth it. Like it was some good stuff. We didn't want it to end, but now we just like.
And see, I'm not tooting Jersey's horn, but this is something else they get right. They do like what 18 episodes with the reunions included. They've been like that for the last.
Now watch they get them 25 episodes this season.
Don't do that.
Watch that. I'm be like,
Lord. And a 6-part reunion.
Oh, okay, a 6-part reunion with a 6-week.
No, because the thing is, like, I'm okay if you have 23 episodes. Yeah. But don't rehash somebody's drama out for 10 episodes. You could have 4 new fights.
Yeah.
Like, you can have 3 more trips, 4 new fights. Like, it's just so much. But y'all want to focus on 1 fight for 10 episodes. Bitch, I'm tired.
Right. I think he said because Ro not on, they're dragging everything out. And Ro,
do that anyway.
They need to be doing some Ro. Hopefully it's good when they come back. Okay. We have 3 callers to get on, and our first caller is going to be Demisio, who I think is at work.
Hey, Demisio.
Hey.
I am at work. Hey guys, what's up, Danny?
Hey,
I miss you in on the panel.
I know, but we talk every day, so
yeah.
That's why I got y'all own show.
We talk about how we DM each other Housewives stuff all day long. Like
it's a conflict of interest.
It's giving Bravo chat room.
Look, a spinoff.
No, I'm just saying. Go ahead, Demisio.
I want to start off with the Gia and Joe situation. Even though I do feel like Joe has a right to his opinion, I do think Gia is more right in the situation because, like y'all said, Joe has been gone now for like a couple of years. This man has been deported. Like,
can you take that mask off? It's hard to hear. There we go. My bad. Okay.
I said, I do agree with you guys. Joe has been gone for a while now, so it's just like, are you gonna make Joe a storyline every season? Like we need to, let it go at this point. And Gia does have a right to be upset. Gia's not a child anymore. She's grown. Like, that's still her father at the end of the day. And like y'all said, he was good to her, even though he had his issues with Joe, Melissa, Teresa. That's still her dad. So she had every right to feel like, don't talk about him. At least not in front of me, any damn way. And moving on to
she was clearly a daddy's girl.
Yeah.
They all were.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell. And moving on to Margaret, messy, judgmental ass. This is why I do not fucking like her. Because why, like, digging all into the camp, finding out where it's at, what's going on. Mind your damn business. That's why Teresa is going to rip your ass to shreds later on in the season. You keep doing it, Cortez, but we all think the trailer.
Trailers don't always give what it's supposed to give. Don't just sit here and
keep saying that. Keep saying that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying when I see Chateau Saray, I see Chateau Saray. And that's just that.
It's just like that's why Teresa's gonna drag you later on because you can't mind your damn business. That's why I did not ever feel bad about what Jen did to her because Margaret is messy as hell and she always in somebody else's fucking business. So I never feel bad for her at all. And now understanding like about the affair with Bill that he did on Jennifer 10 years ago, that's why Jen has never liked Margaret because Margaret is a homewrecker. She fucking married me. And that's why Jennifer doesn't like her because she went through that. And then for Margaret to just like be so open and honest about that, which is something that most people don't do without sleeping with married men. Most people don't.
Why don't she say that? Why don't she, instead of her going around?
I agree with you.
Why she don't just say that? And then Margaret be like, "Oh, she ain't even."
She had like March fuck Bill.
Right. She just like
I agree with you.
She had an opportunity to say it today, and she didn't say it, so it ain't gonna be
right.
Fun.
And I also think you're right because now that you say that, I can see that.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Now you say that, that's a good point.
Yeah, and
what you said.
And another thing, which y'all saying that she needed an Emmy. I don't know who worse, her, Lisa Barlow, or Jennifer Shaw, or Erica Jane. They all act like they on the Young and the Restless.
Okay, that's what I said.
Oh my God! Like they all act like they try to go up to win a daytime Emmy Award for Best Supporting Actress in a drama series.
Okay, Lisa Rinna, actress, a real actress, and she never won one.
Well, Eileen did, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, Eileen
What
is a
else?
different girl though.
Well, yeah, that is true. And as far as Jackie and Jennifer's friendship, I think we all know why Jackie is being so considerate and so wants to be having an open mind because of the shit going on with her and Eddie. The rumors were true. That's why she's trying to be a damn friend because Jen is, grieving that situation all over again, and she's currently going through the damn situation. So of course she's gonna be a shoulder to cry on for her, obviously. Now
Okay.
that's just what I've been reading in the Bravo universe or whatever. They say Evan, the rumors about Evan was indeed
So it's
true.
alleged. It's alleged.
I mean, yeah, but they are going through problems on the new season though. But we can say allegedly, but I believe it's true. So I'm gonna say it's true.
I just know
Y'all
if
can
some
say
footage ever come out, baby, Teresa is going to have a field day.
Hold on. And before I get off of here, Teresa was indeed right. It is a difference in what Margaret did and what she did.
Oh my
Teresa was
God.
spreading a rumor. Margaret did indeed say a damn fact. And
Okay.
Jennifer did clear her by saying, it wasn't the office manager, it was the pharmaceutical. Like, bitch, if you gonna tell my story, if you gonna put my business out here, bitch, you could at least have the audacity
But
to
but
tell it right.
but guess Mark might be right because it might be both office
I think
manager
it's both.
and,
I
and
think
a
it's both.
pharmaceutical rep.
I think it's both. Because who
One
does
from 10 years ago, one from
let me
2.
tell you something. That's two different fields. Okay, office manager and pharmaceutical rep. So I think it's both. But let me tell, I gotta let you go. Okay, I got 2 more callers to get on. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for
Bye,
letting me
you
in.
guys.
All right. All right. Next up, we have Miss Chastity. Hey, Chastity. Welcome back to the
Chastity.
league.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
How you doing?
Good to you.
So I said, listen, I had a work deadline today, and I'm gonna tell you something. You guys were my reason to get it done because I said I have got tonight, and the only way I'm gonna do it is if I get this work done today. So that's why I'm here.
Well, welcome and thank you.
I got you. But just a couple of things. So I'm not mad at Margaret for exposing the situation. I mean, Jen wants to be out here exposing everybody else's stuff, or even just continuing to go on a narrative of something that's alleged, that's a rumor, but you still pushing it through like it's real. When something really happened to you, you wouldn't want that to happen. You wouldn't want that to be done to you. So now it's being done to you, and it's actually facts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you could be mad at facts. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You tried to hide it as long as you could. Clearly you didn't, because everybody around knew what was going on. And Black Dolores. She gets a card by saying, like, I like her. I do. She really does remind me of a person that does need to be within the group that's still kind of neutral, but it sees all sides of things and could kind of tell everybody. But the only problem that I have with her is that, like, you don't show the same energy when your girl Trey show up doing the same thing as other people do. So when Marge showed up doing the same thing Trey did last year, and Trey's was a rumor, like she didn't even that wasn't even like information she knew for a fact, which I don't even believe that, like to that degree. But you didn't have the same energy you had in your confessional when it came to Marge talking about, like, you leave that alone. That's private. It's personal. That's touching a close point. I mean, I didn't hear her saying that about Jackie's situation last year when her girl Trey did it,
Mm-hmm.
And for Trey to be like, oh my God, that's so wrong what Marge did and blah, blah, blah. And for her to say the difference is mine was a rumor, hers was fact. I said, exactly, which means you shouldn't have said nothing because it was a rumor. Like,
Trey, we say last week, knock on wood.
I mean, I used to,
I love Teresa, but when she was trying to say that, if Margaret can say what she said, why was it wrong for me to say what I said? But then
it was
she turned around and said, "Oh my gosh, Jen, that was so wrong." So, girl, you're saying you were wrong,
right? That's all I'm saying. Like, if that's the case, just say, like, you know what, last year I was wrong. As I'm looking at this situation, how I came out, to Jackie was wrong because how I think Marge is coming at you is wrong. You could say that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with having insight and saying that, but I don't think that I don't think Trey knows what insight means. I just don't think she understands that.
Hold on, that's my girl. That's my girl now.
Let it out. Listen,
you can love this girl.
I just can't defend it. That's why I don't want to hear it. I can't defend it. I can't defend it. That's why I don't want to.
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know, we understand. Sometimes there's birds flying up around there. You know, it's okay.
Not Ramona was right.
Right. So, and now the last thing I want to say, because I don't want to keep you. I know you said you had other people in the back, but I am not down with Gia. No, I'm not. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm not. Because listen, I'm from New York too. Like, so I'm from this New York, New Jersey area type stuff. So I get all of that. But let me explain something to you. Like when Gia came at Joe and was like, when he mentioned something about how he was upset about him talking about
her dad.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, not her dad, her grandparents. And she's like, don't bring up my grandparents. And I was like, oh, those was his parents before they was your grandparents. You understand that, right? Like, you know, you came last in the whole thing.
Equation.
I'm just saying that, like, there were probably things that was going on with Joe Guidice and Joe Gorga with the family before Gia was even born. Like, while she was, you know, when Trey and Rico first got together. So I'm sitting here like, you can't really sit here and say that your uncle can't have an opinion or feeling on how his parents, Gia still has her parents alive, whether they're separated or not. Both of his parents are gone, and to some degree, he blames Joe Gudice's behavior and all of the antics that they had to deal with to contribute to their downfall, right? To why they're not here. Not to say that it could be right, but from an emotional space, that is where he's coming from. The same way Gia is coming from an emotional space of defending her father. Joe is coming from an emotional space of defending the fact that he feels like his parents was dealt with a lot of stuff they didn't have to deal with because Joe Gudice was in their life. Right.
I don't like that he does that. I really hate that he blames, you know, him on basically their death. That's like so.
Yeah, and you know what?
And I don't think it's right.
Yeah, not to cut you off, Chastity, but I think the reason Gia got so emotional and offended when he made that remark is because you have to remember when their dad was it this previous season before the dad passed away, they couldn't get Joe to come to their house to spend that time with their daddy for nothing. So now she at the point like you steady blaming my dad for the death. You saying that what they call it, grandma? I don't know what they call it, but when she passed, they were blaming it on Teresa going to jail and the mama being stressed. But when the dad was here, it was a whole thing with Joe to come to the house to spend time with the dad, and Gia was upset about that. So at this point, I think Gia is just she fed up with it all.
Little counselor. I ain't gonna lie, that girl has been through a lot.
She's been through it all.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now when I bring up how Joe is feeling, I'm not saying he's right. I'm just saying that, like, I'm thinking that is where Joe is coming from, because they're all emotional. Hello, I'm Italian, I'm Sicilian. Okay. So I know how much we could hold on to things. I'm just saying that, like, I think that, like, they both need to kind of move from their space of the protectiveness. Joe being protective of his parents and defensive of his parents. And I think it's more of his parents than it is even of Trey, to be honest with you. I think it's
yeah.
And
but, you know, I'm sorry, Chess, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and you know, I do get your point, but I just look at it like this. Joe says he says he loves Gia to death, right? He's been there. He should see that what he's doing, how he's publicly bashing her father, hurts her. It's 5 years later. I'm not saying that there's no time limit on how you could feel hurt and angry towards, you know, Joe Gudice, but at the end of the day, why are you still talking about it 5 years later publicly everywhere? Like, you know, let it go. No, I'm not saying let it go, but you could talk about it to Teresa, you know, to your family, to your inner circle about how mad you are, but you're still doing it in public spaces. Like when he goes and does his comedy shows, he's still bashing him there.
Yeah.
It seems like
So
he
it's
just
like-
wants some reason to blame, like he's sad or angry about his parents
Yeah.
passing, so it's easier. But he might be mad at himself too, because you got to remember him and Joe, they were besties. That's how Joe and Teresa met. So maybe he could be mad at himself and just want to lash out. But instead of going at Joe, it's gonna really bring some type of real heavy tension between him and his nieces if he don't quit that. Because Gia ain't the only one sick of it. She just the only one that can actually say it.
She's the oldest one. She don't want to speak on it.
Yeah.
And regardless of what her
Agree,
father
'cause I
has done to the
honestly think
people,
Melania is the one who probably feels the most probably upset because she seemed like to be most closest to her father, and she doesn't seem to be able to probably emotionally express that the way maybe she could.
I agree.
I agree with you. So I do agree that like he can't keep talking about this 5 years later. Some point, like you could still feel how you feel, but you can't keep bringing it up because it is affecting other people. So I can absolutely agree with both Sammy and Dan, well, all of you guys on that point. But I do think that like I think that both people are right and both people are wrong in certain instances. And I think that yes, Gia is of a certain age. I think that what Gia needs to do and what Joe needs to do is respect, which they did at the end, is respect where each other is at and just stop bashing like that, right? Because I was a little bit, I did feel like Joe was coming off a little bit extra, like, oh, you're talking to an adult, like you're 21, I'm blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well. I didn't see her being disrespectful to you.
She was.
And he talked about how she was dressed. She wasn't wearing nothing wrong either.
He just
like,
didn't
I
like.
think he don't want to see her as an adult.
You're obviously he doesn't want to see her talk back to him at all. Basically, he rather her just be like.
He don't want to see her as an adult. She said, "You
still see me as a 5-year-old."
Yeah, he still sees Gia as that little girl that was singing the song. That
exactly.
Well, she sang
so much going on.
Yeah,
he's grown.
I mean, see, this is exactly why we need to have these chats because I was coming from my own place, like, oh no, girl, who are you? Boo, 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 and listening to y'all help me really understand like both sides of it. I mean, I still get it. I was still siding with Joe more, but I get it now. I understand what you're saying. I think that they both need to have grace towards each other in their feelings. You know what I mean? Joe has every right to feel how he feels because he's had a history with their father that doesn't have anything to do with the children. And then that's their father, right? So they have a whole nother relationship, a whole nother side of Joe Giudice that maybe none of us have seen, that they understand exists in him. And so they're going to always give him grace and love him and know that he comes from a good place, right? Even if we didn't see it.
I agree.
Okay, Chad, I gotta let you go. Okay, I gotta let you go. I got one more call to get on and get off. So
absolutely.
We appreciate it.
We'll see you next week, right?
Really good dialogue.
Thank you guys so much for the time. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
That was some good conversation.
I like Chastity.
Chastity.
Well, Chastity knows the show, so Chastity,
she can talk.
She can talk. I'm not saying I ain't talking about you, Demisio, nobody else, but just saying. Chastity knows the show. So, hey Lisa, honey. Now I ain't gonna rush you today. However,
I know you're in the rush for us to go out on. I know, but let me tell you. Let's go back a little bit. Don't you remember they first came in the second season when Joe and Melissa first came on at that Christian? Somebody put in the chat. You remember Joe cussed his father out because Joe had said that Joe's good Teresa husband had a better relationship with his father than he did. You know what I'm saying? That's all that stands from. I really do. You know what I'm saying?
Jealousy.
Jealousy. So I believe that's what they're coming from. And also, let's move on from that because that's what I want to say right there. I don't think Jenna was wrong. I don't think Jill was wrong. She right. She said, "Now you're gonna start talking about my dad." Number one, when somebody brought that up last week at the thing, you should have told them that's a family thing. Move on, okay? You should have put an end to that, and it would be sex. It would have been nobody would say nothing else. Okay, let me tell you something. Margaret is a bitch. Okay. I don't blame Jen. I'm gonna tell you like this right here, okay? Number one, you put it out there. You put it out there that you was a home worker. You put it out there you was right here schooling your bosses and stuff. You don't want to put that stuff out. You don't want to put that stuff back your mom that raised you well and all that right there. You don't want to put that out. Jen ain't put that stuff out there. Like Jen said, when you put stuff out there, people gonna have an opinion about it. You might not like it, but people gonna have an opinion about it like we do. You know what I'm saying? So you can't get mad. Now Jen put hers out there because I think in the back of her mind, she had let it go. Okay, it's over and done with. We done talked about it. Hello, D'Amico, whatever.
Demetrio.
Hey, darling. Demetrio. I love you, darling. Yes, but let's move on. Okay, but any kind of way, let's do this. So I really don't blame Jane, and I'm on Jane's side, baby doll. Okay, you know, to me, Melissa and Jackie and Margaret ain't nothing but fake bitches. Okay, Melissa really can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because she cheated on Joe, because her best friend said, okay. Her best friend was in her wedding. Like you remember a couple seasons back, her best friend said she cheated on Joe. Joe said, "Now they're not talking." I'm gonna tell you something, baby. I always say, watch with your boyfriends and your girlfriend. Watch out for them because they know where the bones are at. They know where the baby bones are at. Y'all know that. Y'all men know that. Y'all ain't dumb like me. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But any kind of way, though. You know, I'm saying like this right here, though. And I really do believe Evan was cheating. I believe Ma would put that out there. I really do. She put it out there because you remember Teresa said, well, I heard it within the group. And then her husband got on TV. Her husband talking about, well, now I heard it from the women. You heard that's no women no house. Man, get the mess out of here. You heard it from your darn wife. You kind of cover it up. Okay, ain't nobody got time for that. Okay, and like I said, Dolores, honey, if Dolores don't want, she want to be with the man. They none of y'all business. Okay, the Dolores got her new house. She kind of live a new life. She got the booty and ass and everything picked up. Let her live her family. Like she gonna find a new man, baby. Dog. She ain't got that man.
She got one.
Well, she got one. Then back. Congratulations to her then. Okay, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get all this stuff started. Okay, and then you know what I'm saying? And Jack and his boy. And I said that girl named Teresa, that girl named Tracy. That's her name. The new girl.
Yeah, Tracy.
Yeah,
that's Sammy's favorite.
That's who?
Sammy like her.
You like her, Sammy?
I don't know not too much about her. You seeing that she got some skeletons in her closet. We gonna have to examine.
Google her name and you'll see all the stories about her.
It's a lot. It's a whole lot of articles.
Skeletons.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we want to call them skeletons. She
got bodies.
She got fire. He said no skeletons. She got fire.
Yeah, bodies.
It's big fires everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
White man,
look her up. Look her up and look up.
I'm gonna Google
They'll
her.
come up
You know
there.
what I'm saying? But not any kind of way. I'm just saying this right here. When Jen was white though, you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of y'all want to comfort her. I'm gonna tell y'all. She always told y'all was upset. Dolores, you heard what she was saying. You know why she said she's upset now because now she gotta go home. She gotta explain to the kids because they're gonna come out in the blogs.
Well, the kids read it. The kids actually read it from the blogs. Well, they actually heard
not because of.
And I just don't know how no 10-year-old information is.
Not because of Marge, yeah. So yeah.
So what I will say, Lisa, is because Jen did make the comment that you don't put stuff out there because people have an opinion on it. She is on reality TV. I feel like she's smart enough to know better. Just because you ain't gonna put it out there, don't mean them girls ain't finna come back up from 10 years ago and try to get.
And my thing is, Lisa,
know that. We know that.
Let me say this, Lisa. I feel like even if she did, even because Marge put it out there, don't use it as a jab because it ain't like she talking about it. You should use that against her as a jab in the middle of an argument that was unwarranted. You know, they weren't even talking about hers and stuff like that. Jen, if you remember that argument when they were in Cabo, she sprung that out. You know what I'm saying? And tried to attack her to her in whatever kind of way, it backfired.
That's how I feel. If I'm being vulnerable and opening up to you, don't throw
it in my face.
Yeah,
you know
and
let me
tell y'all this to him. I'm gonna tell you something. When it came to Danielle and Marguerite, baby Danielle had the right to jack that ponytail. Throw some water on me. Throw some water on me.
She did.
I agree. Some water on me.
She did.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But see, that's what I'm saying. Melissa and Jack and them, they didn't see that. They didn't see Margaret did number one. Margaret's out in that girl business. Talking her husband. They ain't none of your business. See, that's what I'm talking about. You need to be able to see what Joe doing. You need to see what Joe doing. Joe might got Joe ain't. Now I ain't gonna say that, but Joe scared of Margaret. That was she cheating with him because the other man wasn't playing with her. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So she, Joe's scared of her.
Okay,
Joe's scared of her.
Lisa, I'm gonna let you go. Okay.
Hey, yeah, I seen you. Did you see that thing on Instagram?
What happened? What was it?
I said about the panel.
Oh, you sent me a message. I'm gonna go look. I go look and see. It's on the blog or on my personal Instagram.
Huh?
It's on the blog Instagram or my personal Instagram. I'll go check. I think
it's on the blog Instagram because I don't got your personal Instagram. But
okay,
just leave me a link. Let's go leave me. You want me to have your person? Just leave me a link.
Mm-hmm. It's next to his name right now.
Yeah, it's right. It's up here. I'll put it in the chat too.
Okay. Let's send it to on my message thing.
Okay,
I get it. Yeah. I don't put everything out there, you know what I'm saying? Because you might be talking about some private stuff one day, and then everybody know okay. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Y'all have a good night.
We love you too. Have a good night,
Lisa. Bye, Lisa.
Okay, some good little dialogue today from Demisio, Chastity, and Lisa. Lisa got the folks crunk child. She said, "Let me come out the cheat." Demacchio. Nonetheless, we're gonna get out of here. Wait a minute. Child, no, Demisio, Sammy is not single. What's Sammy? Are you single?
No, I'm not. He's right here.
Let me be quiet. I don't put your business out there, child.
He's right here.
Okay.
Come on, Steven. Now that's how you clear the room, Steven.
We are going to lean out. Thank y'all for watching. It's been a really good show. Talking about this episode. Thank y'all to the 3 callers and everyone in the chat. TKC, Chastity, Eric, M, Nushka, Morgan, anyone else that was in here today. Good show. Remember, we're here every week at the same time right after the episode goes off. Salt Lake City on Mondays, and then Real Housewives of Miami on Thursday. So,
and Sammy, you let me know if Steven reads our opinions when we get off the.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Danny. Like this video, don't forget. And I'm gonna leave on this note right here that Eric M said, even though I don't agree, I thought it was hilarious. It's okay to be a home wrecker. Some people need to be rescued. With that being said, y'all have a good night, and we will see y'all next time. All right. Good night. Oh, if I forget it. Bye, Steven.